Hi, I'm Linda. This is Linda's Art Club. And if the painting that you're about to paint has tracers provided, this is a little video on how to use the tracers and how to get the image onto your canvas or your art journal or whatever you're going to use. So I've created a little, just kind of a sample tracer to start out our little demonstration. Let's say you were going to paint a leaf. Any of my tracers print out with just normal 8.5 by 11 paper. You don't have to change any of your printer settings at all. So this is pretty much what a tracer would look like. It's just simple lines to get your image onto your canvas. Some tracers are available for larger canvas sizes like 11 by 14 and 16 by 20. And I wanted to show you real quick what those look like when they print out. They'll usually print out, well, they always do. They always print out in multiple pages, again in 8.5 by 11, so there's nothing that you have to change. But they come out in sections, so you will have to tape them together. So for instance, this one printed out in 4 pages. And so I just lined the image up best I could, and then you just Scotch tape them together. And now this image is ready to transfer onto a larger canvas. Really, really simple. So that's just a sample of how they print out. So now let's talk about how to get your image onto the surface. I'm just going to use like an art journal page as a sample here. And I just created some hearts that we can transfer. So the easiest way to do it, and everyone has this at their home, is a good old #2 graphite pencil. And you would just print your tracer out and flip it over. Now your tracer ink won't be this saturated. These are actually made with a Sharpie, but in order to see the lines, you can hold up your tracer to a window and you'll be able to see through your paper enough to take your pencil and just where you see the lines, just put on some real good thick graphite. And you'll want to hold it up to a window or something and make sure you're just going over the lines, because you don't want to put graphite over your whole paper. That would just be a waste of time. So I'm just going to get this pencil on the lines, and then I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to flip it back over, and I'm going to put it on my surface wherever I would want to have that heart painted. And I'm just going to go over this line with a pen. And I've got my image on my surface ready to go. Really, really, really easy. Now there's other ways of doing it as well. There is carbon paper that you can, I got this obviously at Staples, you can get it at Michael's, you can get it at Amazon. Carbon paper can be used over and over and over. So this packet of a lot of pages that I have here is going to last me for years and years. So I want to show you what carbon paper looks like. It has a really dark ink on one side, and then the lighter side is the side that you can draw on. So, and this is graphite paper. I wanted to show you these side by side. You can get graphite paper. You can probably get them at Michael's or any art store. This is graphite, just like what your pencil is made out of. I would suggest using graphite if you were going to use an art journal page, because this is a lighter line, just like this. If you wanted a darker line on your canvas, you would go ahead and use the carbon paper. So let's just do a little sample of this right now. Let's use the carbon paper. Let's choose a heart. We're going to choose this heart here because it doesn't have any carbon on it. Or graphite on it. I'm just going to lay this over. Again, I'm going to take a pen. I'm pressing pretty hard. And remember, when you're using any kinds of papers, you always put the darker side against your paper because that's the side that has the material on it that's going to transfer onto your paper. So I just traced this, and there we go. And it's nice and light, but you could still see it there. And now it's ready to paint. So I want to show you the difference between graphite paper and carbon paper. So the carbon paper, you would take the darkest side and put it against your canvas or your art journal page. And we're going to put this right about here. I'm going to choose a heart. Let's use this one over here. We haven't used that guy yet. Place it on my surface. Use a pen. Lift that up. And you see how much darker the carbon paper is. Makes a beautiful, beautiful line, but there's all the differences right there. Because sometimes you might want a really dark line. The other way you can transfer onto your canvas is using chalk. There's a whole bunch of chalk out there that you can buy. This is Crayola coloring chalk. These are really cool. If you're doing a really big tracer onto a big canvas, look how gigantic these are. Aren't these fun? These are so much fun. So you can use chalk, a little one or a big one. Let's use them both and see how they see the difference. So I'm just going to pull out. Let's see if we can get this guy out of here. Let's use this color. That's pretty. It's like a green color. So now this you would use like you did your pencil. So you choose, we'll choose a heart here. And I'm just going to go on my line. Now with the chalk, you're going to get a bigger mess, obviously. So you can see I've already got that powder. See that powder? So you want to maybe, I'm just going to dump that powder a little bit onto here before I transfer this. And then we're going to find a space. Let's put him right here. I'm going to do this one. So this is just the normal colored chalk. And be careful when you lift it up because you don't want to smudge it. And there it is. And you know, if you get some smudges and things like that, you can just take an eraser. This is a kneaded eraser. These are really great. And you just kind of clean it up a little bit. And then let's try that big fun chalk right now. Woo, let's which one? Let's do this big, let's do this big purple one. Makes me want to go out and make some designs on a sidewalk. Okay, let's do this. This is super, super easy. Look at how much surface you cover with that. Of course, super messy, super messy. I'm going to dump this, dump that again. Then I'm going to go ahead and put that here. So I'm going to line that up, trace it. Careful when I lift it because it's messy. And there's the purple. And I'm going to show you real close because you do get messiness, a little bit of messiness. But, you know, when you're using the chalk, what you then do is you take your paint, your acrylic paint, and just kind of draw along the lines of the chalk to get your design completely onto your canvas, because you can't just paint over chalk like this because it's going to disappear. So you'll want to take your acrylic and define the lines of your chalk. But that pretty much shows you all these different ways. So depending on how dark you want it, or if you want to go out and purchase things, remember this is graphite paper, this is carbon paper, chalk, and a good old #2 pencil. So I hope that was fun and informative, and get ready to paint your painting, and I'm excited to see what you create. Okay, take care.